And for me, it's just too harsh and too military based for there to be no romance at all. I'm definitely not liking it as much as I liked it the first time I read it. I just saw her YouTube short and I was like, I have to read this book. 5 stars out of 5 stars, 6 stars out of 5 stars. Hi, welcome to my vlog. Today, this is the beginning of the final week of June, which means I really have to finish some books that I said I was gonna finish in June. Today is Monday and next Monday is already July 1st, which is crazy. The year is flying by and it's stressing me out. I am barely holding on for dear life. This week especially is difficult. I have my university semester has started again, so I've got so much homework, so much stuff to do in my classes. I've got biology, like a normal biology class, and then my biology lab to accompany that class, and it's a condensed class, which means it's the normal 16-week class condensed into just 4 weeks. So that means that I'm having to do 4 times the amount of work every single day and every single week. And what's really frustrating is that my teachers have refused to open up the course for working ahead, which means that they are making everything due on very specific days, and they're only opening these items for you to do and to study and to complete and everything just a couple of days before in most of the cases. And I work and I have my own business and I have so much other personal stuff that I have to do. And then on top of it, I have these classes. And so I really don't have that much time. And I really dislike when teachers say, okay, this opens on Monday and it's closing on Friday and you have only these 5 days. I hate that. Luckily, I feel like the majority of my classes are different, and it's usually it will open on Sunday and it's due on Sunday. So you have a full 7 days, if not even more, because some teachers will open it just at the beginning of the semester. They'll just say, all the work is there. You can work ahead if you want. You know, it's up to you. If you think that you can get a good grade and you think at the end of the semester when you take a final, you can remember everything if you worked ahead all at the beginning, then go ahead. And I really like that because I know how to pace myself, and I just much prefer to do that. With all of my work, I have certain days where I'll have a couple of hours free, and then maybe I won't have any hours free at all for the next couple of days. But anyways, that is this week. It is the second week of this class officially, but the first week started kind of in the middle of the week and it was kind of just preparing for this week. This is like the first proper week where I have actually a lot of stuff due. Every single day I have like 3 assignments that I have to do total. I have so much reading that I have to do. I have to read, I believe in the whole span of this class, it's something like 600 pages. Obviously, you don't have to read the 600 pages. However, for me personally, I am the type of person where if I know we're going to have a final and it's going to be taken from the textbook, I really have to read the entire textbook. Like, I will read every single word in that textbook to prepare myself as best as possible. I just physically, I can't bring myself to not read everything if I know that it's going to help me for sure. Like, if they say that it's from the textbook. Sometimes they'll flat out say, you know, the textbook will help you understand things. However, the questions are going to be based off of something else, you know, based off of this or whatever. But this teacher flat out said the questions are taken directly from the discussion questions and everything in the textbook. And so I want to read the entire textbook, but it's so much reading. So I don't know how much fun reading I'm going to get done for this entire vlog. This might be a really short vlog. I have no idea, but I really am kind of scrambling right now trying to finish what I can for the end of June because I've not even, it's still sitting right here, untouched, not even cracked it open, nothing. So this is the Terry Goodkin novel Stone of Tears, which was my June TBR prompt pick. The pages are so paper thin and the words are so tiny. This is truly, I think it's like 979 pages. So it's almost 1,000 pages. And again, you know, it's like these like paper thin, like super old kind of pages. And that was my June TBR prompt pick. And I was supposed to read that in June and I've not even started. It's impossible for me to finish it now. It's not gonna happen. I'm not even gonna try. I think I will just leave it for July. But what I did start, I thought I had it around here, but I guess I don't, is The Princess Bride by William Goldman. I'm really not that far at all, unfortunately. So I have a lot of reading to do for that because it's also not a super small book. It's not super big, but I think it's like 300-400 pages or so. So I have to get started on that. And also I've still never finished Dark Skies, Dark Shores, which I've now been reading for like 2.5 months. And honestly, I'm not much further than when I said I would take a short break like a month ago. So I would really like to finish those 2 books, Dark Skies and Dark Shores by Danielle O. Jensen, and The Princess Bride, but I don't know if that's possible. Also, I only have, I believe, 9 days to finish on my Libby account the audiobook versions of The Poppy War, book 1. I'm roughly 40% of the way through, so I think there's a good chance I will finish that. Maybe not before the month is over, but for sure within the 9 days, so then it would be in the very beginning of July. I'm liking that book so far. I'm not liking it as much as I thought I would. I really, really do enjoy it a lot, but I thought, I don't know, I just thought based on what other people have said that it would like absolutely blow me away and I would be obsessed with it. And I think that the main character, Rin, is, I don't know, there's just something about her that kind of really rubs me the wrong way. Like, she is so harsh sometimes and like so, I don't know, like she wants to succeed so badly that she puts herself and her health and her body. If you've read the book, you know what I'm referring to. That scene really, really, really horrified me. I think it was so dramatic for literally no reason. I really hated that scene. Like, she's putting her health and her body at risk for literally no reason, I feel like. And then on top of it, she is so harsh, like in the strategy class, when the teacher says, oh, we have this situation, what would you do? Everyone's like trying to figure out, you know, okay, how do we save the innocents and everything? And Rin is just like, kill everyone, like all the time. Like, she's very, very ruthless, I guess you could say. And it really turns me off of her as a character. I don't know. I'm not really feeling her at all yet. Like, I'm just not feeling her. I'm not really feeling the book that much. I do really like the book, as I said, and I think it is so well written. I think R.F. Kuang is a really, really, really good writer. And so I'm really enjoying the writing, and I'm really enjoying the world building and just the atmosphere in general. I really like it. But in terms of the characters, I guess, and the intrigue and the plot, I knew I wouldn't be super crazy about it because I don't like military books, but I thought there would be more. And also, this is so stupid. Like, I didn't really think I would ever feel like this because I've read books before where there was no romance, and that's fine for me. Like, I don't need romance in every book at all. However, I really feel like this book, I wish there was romance. And I just looked up, you know, will there be any romance? And I guess R.F. Kuang herself has stated before that she doesn't want to have any explicit romance in her books. If it's implicit, like if it's just implied that maybe like after the book ends there could be something, or, you know, I don't know, off the pages there could be a little something. And I'm not talking about smut, I'm just talking about romance in general. She said it's more implied for her, but she says that she doesn't really want to write anything explicitly romantic at all. So from what I've read, at least, there's zero romance in the series. And for me, it's just too harsh and too like military based for there to be no romance at all. I just wish there would have been something. I don't care if it's between Rin and somebody. Like, she doesn't strike me as a person who would ever be in a romantic relationship with anyone, honestly. But like, if it's just like a side character, I don't know. I just want something. I feel like something to soften the very harsh edges of what I feel like this book is so far. It's maybe just too harsh for me, but I get that's kind of the point, and I do think it's fun, and it's definitely a vibe. I just don't really think that it's like 100% my vibe, but it's enough that I'm enjoying it, so we'll see. So that's where I am right now. I have so much homework to do today. I'm so far behind, and I have to finish editing a video. I missed 2 videos in the past like just week and a half or something posting on YouTube here because I was just so stressed out with school, and we had our Spartan race, which was crazy, and also like I got shin splints because of the Spartan race. Like I thought that I had really worked hard to condition my body. Like I've got scoliosis, so my spine is all messed up and it kind of ruins everything. I really can't run. And I've tried so hard. I've had people watch me. I've taken videos of myself. I've watched thousands of hours, honestly, of videos on how to run properly and what the best ways are. And I've gotten shoes and everything. I've done everything I possibly can. And for me, I don't know, it feels like it's impossible. I just can't run without getting shin splints. It doesn't matter if it's 1 kilometer or if it's 10 kilometers. I've tried so hard. And I don't know what the issue is. I think I just genuinely have to go to a specialist and work for like weeks or months on this, but I just don't want to. I don't know. I don't have the time, the energy, or the money for that, so I'm just not going to. But I thought that I had really worked as hard as I possibly could and prepared my body as much as I possibly could for the Spartan race, but I didn't. And then after the Spartan race, my shins were kind of really not feeling great. And then, unfortunately, I think it was maybe 3 days after or so, my husband and I were coming home and we didn't know that it would rain and we didn't bring an umbrella or anything. And it started raining, but like proper like thunderstorm raining where the rain is coming at you basically sideways directly into your eyes and your nose and your mouth. And like at crazy speeds, and the rain literally feels like rocks. It's so painful because it's so windy and it's pouring so hard. And we got caught in one of those. And we looked at the weather forecast. We were like, should we just stand under the train station? You know, it's like partially blocked, but it wasn't even that much blocked because it's just the roof. And so the rain's still coming in on the sides, but at least then if you stand right in the middle, which literally there were like 50 people just like all standing in the middle and like nobody on the sides. If you're standing in the middle, then at least like your face is protected, but like our shoes completely soaked within like a second of stepping out of the train. And so we looked up on the weather forecast, is it gonna get any better? And you literally could see the cloud. It was like the darkest blue for like the darkest rain. And it was like, this is where like we were here. And the cloud was like literally like this. And it said for like hours it was gonna be like that. And honestly, I went to sleep like 4 hours later and it still was raining just as hard. So I'm glad we didn't wait. But because we didn't wait, we thought, okay, let's just run. And my shins already were hurting, and then I had to run the 15 minutes to our front door from the train station, and that just really did me in. I feel like I just destroyed my shins. So this isn't a great week. I don't know. I'm like really, I can barely walk. I'm like hobbling around. My shins hurt so bad, which it's my own fault. I should have looked at the forecast. I should have brought an umbrella. I should just always have an umbrella with me because it's Germany, and honestly, the weather here is kind of chaotic. So I should have been prepared, but I was not. And then I've got university classes and everything. And so I'm really behind on everything. Yeah, I might not really have any time to read at all. We'll find out. So today is Wednesday. I always lose track of the days of the week. I'm sorry. I've got like no grasp on reality when it comes to the days of the week. But today is Wednesday. I am almost finished on my Kindle with Saphirblau, which is Sapphire Blue by Kerstin Gier. And that's the German book that I'm reading in English, I think, like the Ruby Red series. And so I'm almost done with that. I think I'm at like 96% right now. So truly, I think I will finish it today. I tend to, when I get really stressed with university work, which I am right now because this is the worst class I've ever taken in my entire life. Like literally This is the semester from hell. This is so awful for so many reasons. Worst class ever, worst professor ever, worst teacher's assistant ever, just in general, worst assignments ever, worst quizzes ever. I have so many gripes, but I'm not going to get into that. But point is, I'm stressed with university work. I'm not enjoying it. And so then what I usually do to kind of treat myself and to motivate myself to do my university work is I'll do a sort of Pomodoro method, but with reading. And so I'll do like 30 minutes of university work and then 10 minutes of reading as a reward. And then back to 30 minutes of university work and 10 minutes of reading as a reward. And then every once in a while, like I also get up and I do something active, or I'll clean, because I have so many household activities also to do and whatnot. And so it's been like that all week long, except I haven't really been rewarding myself with reading that much because I haven't been so interested in a book. After The Shadows Between Us, if you saw in my last vlog, that was one of the worst books I've ever read this year. I rated it 2 stars. After that book, I don't know, I just really was in a reading slump and I didn't want to read anything, especially not in English. So then that's when I started reading this book again in German, and I'm just reading a little bit at night usually, or a little bit in between university work, and I'm almost finished. So hopefully I will finish that before the month is over. And then as a big reward for myself, I'm going to watch the movies again. There's 3 movies, I believe, for the 3 books. And I'm on the 2nd book, and I'm almost finished with it. And to prepare for the 3rd book, since I read the 1st book so long ago and I started the 2nd book so long ago, and then I just kind of forgot about it, and then I remembered it like last week. And so as a reward, and also to refresh my mind and to prepare for reading the 3rd book in the series, the final book, then I want to watch the 1st movie and the 2nd movie. And it's also some good German practice because they're German movies. So I might do that today. If I finish reading, that might be like my little 10-minute reward. I know to some people that's probably so annoying, only watching 10 minutes of a movie or like 10 minutes of a TV show and then working again for 30 minutes. But honestly, it's the only way that I'll work. Like, I cannot motivate myself to work if there's not something that I'm holding back from myself. Like if it's not a book that I just really want to read, but I refuse to let myself read unless I do my 30 minutes of work first. Or like in the movie, if something really juicy happens and I have to pause it right then and there, I'm only going to work even harder for the next 30 minutes because I just want to get through as fast as possible so that I can get back to watching the movie or the TV show or whatever I'm doing. And so truly, this is like one of the only ways that I can motivate myself to work, especially when it's a class I don't like. If it's a class I like, sometimes I really will get in like, I don't know, the focus zone, and a whole entire day could go by and I've not even looked up from my computer because I'm just so interested in it and I'm just having such a good time and I'm so focused. But if I don't like it, then it's the exact opposite. So I have to do something to get myself to finish the work that I have to do this week, and it's so much work. I will update you when I'm finished with Saphirblau, but for sure it's going to be today, for sure. Oh, and also I got Caraval by Stephanie Garber on Libby on audiobook, and it's by Rebecca Soler, who I really like. She's like the narrator for the audiobook, and I think she tends to do a pretty good job. I really liked her when I listened to Fourth Wing. I like her less in this book than Fourth Wing, and I'm not really sure what it is. It's just, I don't know, the characters just sound a little bit whiny to me, and I don't like that much. And I don't know, maybe it's because I've already read it once. And so in my mind, the characters sounded different and they had different intonation when they spoke. And then now that I'm listening to it for a second time on audiobook, I kind of already have this previous knowledge. And so maybe that's why it's bothering me so much. I don't know. But it does bother me. I don't know. So we'll see. Maybe I might switch over to an actual physical book. But I'm going through the trilogy now because I want to read the is it Once Upon a Broken Heart series? Something about a heart, I don't know. But I want to read that series. And so I want to read the original trilogy first in preparation for reading that trilogy, because finally it's complete. The third book is out. They're all on my Libby account. And so I have access to all of them, either the ebook or the audiobook, depending on what I choose. They're both available, which is the only thing I've been waiting for forever. I really don't like starting a series if it's not complete, because I don't like incomplete endings. I don't like unhappy endings. I want to know what happens, and I want it immediately. So now that it finally is complete and on my Libby, then I'm finally going to get into it. So I'm starting off with Caraval and going through that. So we'll see. I'm definitely not liking it as much as I liked it the first time I read it. And I don't know if it's because I'm listening to the audiobook and I'm not liking the characters as much as the first time I read it, or if it's just because the first time I read it, it was so exciting. And it was like so many shiny new things. It was like so magical. And I don't know, it was so vivid to me, and I just loved it so much that like maybe because of that, because it was like every page like a new fantastical thing, maybe then I kind of overlooked some other things because I was so interested in those things. Like I really don't like Tella. I never really did like her, but especially rereading Caraval, I really dislike her a lot. And I just think it's really cheesy. Like her father also is just like, I don't know, I think badly written, like a badly written villain. It's just really cliche and like hardcore villainy, but like, I don't know, no nuances or anything. I'm not liking it as much, but I do think once she's actually at Caraval, like I just started it last night because it was just available to me last night. And I think I only listened to like, I don't know, maybe an hour or something, which technically actually that's like 1/10 of the book because the book is only 10 hours long. But they're still not at Caraval yet. And so I think once they're actually there and once all these fantastical elements come to life, then I think I'm going to like it more. But yeah, at this point in time, I'm not really liking it as much as the first time. I think it's decent. I don't dislike it, but I'm just not like loving it. We'll see what I think as I continue reading it. I will give you an update later on in the week. Hi, quick update for my vlog. I finished Saphirblau and I did enjoy it. I rated it 4 stars. I feel like this book was kind of a little borderline boring. I don't know if I would categorize it as boring, but it definitely was almost boring to me. It was like really on the cusp of being boring the entire time. There wasn't that much that happened. It was just very consistent throughout. And I feel like honestly this book was just a bridge between the first one and the third one, and I've seen the movies, so I know that a lot more does happen and I kind of know how it should roughly go. And so I think the third book is going to be a lot more interesting and a lot more is going to happen. I think the second book was truly just laying the hundreds of bricks for foundation, and then the third book is really going to take off. At least that's what I'm hoping. I don't know, we'll find out. I don't own the third book. I only own the second one, actually. Maybe I own the first one also, but I definitely don't own the third one. So I'll have to head to my library sometime here in Germany and see if they have it. I'm positive they will, because this is a really popular series and my library that I have is not that small. It's not that big either, but it's not that bad. So I'm hoping they should have it. However, I have already done my July TBR polls out of my jar, and I'm reading 2 books in German next month. Well, I want to read 2 books in German next month, according to my TBR polls. I don't really want to add a third German book to my list. I think that German books that are originally written in German are kind of complicated to read, at least for me. I definitely prefer, if I'm going to read in German just for ease, I prefer reading translated books, so they're translated into German. If they're originally written in German, I just feel like the language sometimes, depending on the author, of course, but sometimes is really complicated. Sometimes it's really archaic and it's not things that you would normally hear. And I feel like I find so much language I've never been exposed to before in my entire life. And I'll even ask my husband sometimes, who's German, like, what does this word mean? Or have you ever heard this word? Do you use this word? And 9 times out of 10, like when I was reading Saphirblau, for example, he'd say, no, I've never heard that. Or something like, oh yeah, I know that word, but it's not very common. Or yeah, I know that word, but that's like something my grandmother would say. And so I don't know what it is. I don't know if German authors just try to be more formal when they write, and then it ends up sounding quite archaic. Or maybe if it's just the authors that I've picked so far. I don't know. If you read in German, if you are German, let me know. Let me know some good authors who are not like super complicated and archaic. I feel like Kerstin Gier in general, that's a young adult, like middle grade young adult novel. Like it's, I would say more middle grade probably. It's like the German equivalent, I feel like, of Harry Potter. Like Harry Potter was so big everywhere, also in Germany. But if you had to pick a German novel that was as big and impactful when it came out, kind of, I would probably say that one. Just because the movies were so big, that it's got movies for all of the books. The books were pretty big. I feel like in general, she's a pretty popular author. When you go on Goodreads and you look at the reviews, that's one of the only German books that has so many reviews. I keep pointing back because it's literally this blue book right here. But I just feel like this is quite a popular series in Germany. And so I feel like theoretically it should actually be really easy to understand. And in general it is, but it's just like every once in a while, I don't know, there's just words that really like throw me for a loop. So I don't think that I'm going to read it anytime soon. I will save that for later this year because I just don't have the brain capacity to do my university studies and to do my job and to also do my other job. And then also the other things that I have to do in the household activities. And then I've got a small group and I'm like the events planner for the small group. And so I've got that on my plate and so many other little tiny things. And I just don't have the capacity to read 3 German books next month. I don't even know if I have the capacity to read 2. We'll find out. Anyways, yeah, I don't know how much more reading I'm gonna get done before this vlog is over. I honestly think I probably won't get any done. If anything, then it would be listening to Caraval on audiobook just before I go to sleep, which I've been doing so far every night. It's only been 2 nights or 3 nights, I think, since I got it. So it's not that much, but I'm listening to it on like 1.3 or 1.4 times the speed. So I'm definitely chipping away at it, that's for sure. And it's a very short audiobook also in general. It's only 10 hours, which is very short, I think. I will probably be finished with it in early July, but I don't think before this vlog is over I will be. And since it's just listening to audiobook, there's really, you know, I don't know, no opportunity for me to like film it. Sorry that this vlog is actually kind of simple and boring. I don't know, I kind of still am a little bit read out or have like a little bit of a book hangover after The Shadows Between Us. That book was just so bad from my last vlog. I'm still recovering. And the university is just really kicking my butt right now. It is so hard, like literally so hard. I didn't think it would be this hard. I thought biology, like I did really good in high school with all sciences. Like I should be fine with this. And it's so complicated. Like the things that they're talking about as if it should just be basic knowledge. Like, it's not basic knowledge. It's so annoying. And the teacher is like no help, like worst teacher ever, worst class ever. So I don't think I'm gonna have any time to read for the entire rest of the week. I'm sorry. And also, like, it's such nice weather outside, sunny. Like, I'll just show you a little peek. Like, also there's our cat right there sleeping in the little window, so cute. But it is very beautiful weather outside, and I want to be outside, and I want to be doing stuff outside. I want to be gardening. I have so much gardening work to do because after all of our plants were destroyed in a hailstorm, which was like 2 vlogs ago or something, our friends and family bought us new plants, which was so sweet. And I have to still pot those up. Literally, it's been like 2 weeks or something, and I still have some that I've not potted up. They're still in like the tiny little nursery pots, which are not good for plants. That's like the first thing you should do when you buy a plant from the nursery. Immediately take it out of its nursery pot, and I just don't have the time. Anyways, please pray for me. Hopefully next week will be better. Unfortunately, this vlog does end this weekend, so you're probably not going to see when it does get better, but hopefully it will. Goodbye. Hi, it is future me right now coming back because I realized I never filmed an outro for this vlog, and I'm so sorry. Things got way out of hand. I got so busy with my biology class at university and everything and all the homework, and I've said before, worst class I've ever taken in my entire life. It is so chaotic and just so badly done. And so I've been extremely stressed because of that whole situation, and I just didn't film it. I have read a lot. And so theoretically I should have filmed something updating you, because when I get so stressed like this, I tend to revert to reading a lot more than usual, which I know seems kind of backwards because the less time I have, you'd think the less I would read. But actually then the more time I carve out for reading, because I'm so stressed, I just really need a break from reality. And I find that in my books. And also to motivate myself to do my university work and everything, then I tell myself, okay, just 30 minutes of studying and then I can read for 10 minutes. And I do that from like the second that I wake up until when I go to sleep, other than when I'm working. And so it's like a whole day where I'm doing these rounds of reading every once in a while for 10-minute sprints. And so it actually adds up to quite a bit of reading. And I think I had not finished anything when this vlog technically should have ended. However, it is now July. It is July 2nd or July 3rd. And I have finished 3 books this month. I think it's July 3rd and I finished one book every day. I had started listening to Caraval in my last update to you, and I finished that on July 1st. And then I started reading Legendary, which is book 2, the continuation of that in the trilogy. And so I've started listening to that, not reading it on audiobook. As of right now, I'm like 50% of the way through. And then I started reading The Faceless Mage and then The Unseen Heir by Kenley Davidson, who I've never even heard of her before. And I only found this because of some completely random YouTube short that I saw while I was just scrolling through YouTube from, I believe her name is Elisabeth Wheatley. She created, well, now I can't remember it. It was on the tip of my tongue before, and now it's gone. I don't know. It's like the Daindreth assassin or series or something like that. I feel so bad I can't remember it. It's been on my TBR for the longest time because she's very active on YouTube and she just makes really funny, really relatable, realistic shorts and videos about books. And she made one about this book, and I just saw her YouTube short and I was like, I have to read this book. Like, I know I'm gonna love it, and I searched everywhere for it and I found it. I loved it. 10 out of 10. The first book I technically gave 4 stars. So technically not 10 out of 10. But I only gave it 4 stars because it was a lot about court life and like being in a royal palace, and I just really don't like that, and I'm so sick of reading it this year. And I didn't think it would take place like all in court. However, the whole rest of the book was amazing, and then the sequel did not take place in court, and it was so amazing. I love the sequel. 5 stars out of 5 stars, 6 stars out of 5 stars. Absolutely love the sequel so much. I would highly recommend anybody who likes a very, very, very slow burn, completely spice and smut-free kind of romance, a really sweet romance where they don't know if the other person likes them and it's just like tiptoeing around. It's so cute. I just love it so much. And if you like fae and you know, elves and I can't remember the other names, like the Dware and the, not Hydra, but something else. Like, if you like all those fantastical creatures and everything, like living together in a land, and there's some political intrigue and some more, you would love these books so much. And it's like a 6-book series. It reminds me of the Bridge Kingdom series by Danielle L. Jensen, because her books, like that whole series, also Saga really, is 2 books about one couple, then 2 books about another couple, and then 2 books about a third couple. And so it's 3 couples total, and it's all taking place in this world, and it's taking place with like this potential war to come. And it's like all 3 of the couples have like a really big place in this world and in this war. It's like the same with the series, The Legends of Abreia, or Abreia, but I'm pretty sure it's Abreia, which I personally don't like because I just want to read about the first couple I read about. I grew so attached to them. I don't want to read about a different couple in the same world. I just want to read about that couple. And also I feel like the ending was kind of open-ended. And so I'm really hoping she's going to have more, or they're going to be like a big part at least in the other couple's parts. I have no idea. So I love it so much. Technically, that's not really a part of my vlog because my vlog ended several days ago, but I never filmed an outro, so I'm just gonna throw it in right now at the end. And I'm going to say that I hope to see you in my next vlog, and thank you for watching so far. I hope you all have an amazing day and an amazing reading month, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.